What's going on, guys? Today we are going to create a CRUD application in ASP.NET using Visual Studio 2022, SQL Server, and Bootstrap. CRUD application means creating, reading, updating, and deleting data from the database. These are the most common and most frequently used operation against any database. Creating means inserting value into a database. Reading means selecting data from the database. Updating means updating the existing data from the database, and deleting means deleting the data from database. So let's do it. By the way, I am considering you have Visual Studio 2022 and configure it to create ASP.NET web application using .NET framework. Because by default ASP.NET web application using .NET framework is not available in Visual Studio 2022. You have to configure Visual Studio 2022. And if you don't know how to configure, I already make one video. The link is in the description section. You should watch that before doing this project. And install SQL Server Management Studio and SQL Server also. I also create that video on how to install SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio. The link is in the description section again. So let's do it. After installing these two software, open up Visual Studio 2022 and click on Create New Project. And here in the search for template section, search web application. And then there you can see ASP.NET web application .NET framework. Select that, click next, and then give project name. Click next and select empty. Click next, and it's creating our project. It takes some time to render it. After rendering, go to view and click that solution explorer if you don't see that solution explorer by default. Now right click over your project, click on add, and then web forms, because in ASP.NET web application web pages are called web form, and give that name. Now here we are using Bootstrap. There are a couple of advantages of using Bootstrap. The first one is it makes our web pages responsive. That means no matter what, in which device you are opening your web pages, it will automatically resize according to your device. That is mobile phone, tablet, or computer. And the second one is there are predefined classes in Bootstrap that you can use, and that makes our web pages looks pretty good. So we are going to use Bootstrap. So for that, go open up any browser and go to getbootstrap.com. And scroll down and click that read installation documentation, and scroll down and copy that CDN link, because we need to let these web pages know that it uses Bootstrap. So for that we need some kind of connection. Simply paste that connection, and here simply give the title to CRUD app, and go back and go to docs and scroll down, and here we are going to use grid system. Grid system means the system which divide the width of the entire web pages into 12 equal columns, and you can use the combination of those columns according to your requirements. Here you can see you can use the combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And simply we are going to use this one. Simply copy that and go back, and inside the body simply paste that, and let's see how it looks. There you go. The grid system divides the entire width of the web pages into 3 equal columns. Now we are going to hide this left and right column, and we are going to write the content in the middle one. So go back and simply close that. Now here what we are going to do is, first of all, let me zoom this little bit so that it is easier for you to watch. And here inside this div we are going to use a form tag. Here form, and this form need to have run it is equal to server, and method is equal to post. Now inside this form what we are going to do is go back to browser and scroll down, and there you can see a form section, and go to that layout, and here we are going to use this layout. Simply copy this, go back and paste inside that form, and select all this and do that tab and run it. Let's see how it looks. Now it looks like this. These are all HTML control, but in ASP.NET we need to use ASP.NET control. So go back, and I think we don't need this label, so just remove that and simply close this. And here, instead of this HTML controls, we need to use ASP.NET controls. So go to toolbox. If you don't see toolbox, go to view and then select that toolbox. You will see this toolbox, and from the toolbox select that and simply double click that text box, and here goes txt id, and css class is equal to form dash control, and you can also give place holder is equal to id, and simply copy this and here simply paste it, and we don't need this label, remove that, and here goes id txt name, and css class placeholder is equal to like run, and simply copy this to div, and because we need a couple more controls here, select this and press that tab so that it will align automatically, and here goes txt email, and here you can give the text mode is equal to email, and placeholder is equal to run at random.com, and here goes this goes txt user, and placeholder is equal to that is fine, and simply copy this div section again and paste here, select that, press tab, and here goes txt pass, and placeholder, we don't need placeholder in password field, but what we can do is we can give text mode is equal to password, simply save it. Now let's see how it looks. Go back, and it looks pretty nice. And now let's check its responsiveness. In the mobile view it looks like this, in the tab view it looks like this, but it is not pretty good. What you can do is close that and scroll here, and here in the div section what you can do is above form we can use col-lg-5. That means in the large screen it is going to use the 5 columns out of 12 columns, but in the mobile and tablet view it will automatically resize according to the size. So run it again, and let's see in the mobile view. There you go, it looks like this in mobile view, and it looks like in this tablet view. Pretty nice. It looks like this in the desktop view. Close that, and simply you can remove this column, scroll down, remove that column, and what you can do is here in this div you can give the background color. Give one class bj color, and we are going to write that, and you can use the Bootstrap class RUNDED so that the corner will be rounded, and scroll here, and inside the head what we are going to do is style, and we are going to use the background color here dot bg color, and here background, and we are going to give the background as I'm going to use this one. Let's see how it looks. It looks pretty nice. Now it would be better if we can see here our text box or some text above the id. So go back, and what we can do is we can use here one div here. I can use one div, And inside this div, I'm going to use one s1 tag, and here goes CRUD application. And here give some class to this div class is equal to, I'm going to use background to primary, and then padding to 4, and then margin bottom to 3, and that's all. Let's see how it looks. It looks pretty nice, but it would be better if this display in the white color. So what we can do is, here class is equal to text light. Save that. You can also use text center so that will display in the center. Let's see how it looks. Looking pretty nice, pretty nice. You can also give the margin top here. Here, margin top 3. Now, what we are going to do is, we need a couple of button here. So here, go back to browser and go to that button section and scroll down. And what we can do is, we can use the predefined button like this one. Copy, go back, and here paste that, and select that. And we don't need to display our button at the end, so simply delete that. And as I already told you, these all are HTML button, but we need a ASP.NET button. So select, double click, select, double click, 2, 3, 4, and here goes read, and then here goes update, here goes delete. First of all, before read, here goes create, read, update, and delete. And we need one more hyperlink. So from there, hyperlink id is equal to that one, and href is equal to, what is our form name? crud.aspx. Simply save that and go back and scroll up, and here you can see we can use a variety of button according to your requirements. I'm going to use delete as danger, so btn danger, and warning, and success secondary primary. So go back here, css class is equal to btn dash danger, and same process, css class is equal to btn dash wr and warning, and css class is equal to btn dash success, and here css class is equal to btn dash primary, and here css class is equal to btn dash scondry. Simply save it, and let's see how it looks. It looks pretty nice, but we need to change a couple of things here. Here goes 1, and here we can give the margin bottom to 3 so that the background color and the button will not touch. There you go. Previously this background color and the button are very near. Now it looks pretty nice. Now this is the complete design part. Now what we need to do is, we need to design database, and we are going to create, read, update, and delete. So simply close this, open up SQL Server Management Studio, and we are going to design our database. Connect, right click over database, new database, and here goes ASP CRUD. Click OK. Expand that database directory and expand that recently created database, that is ASP CRUD, and right click over table, new table, and here goes ID. We need ID because we need to do a update and delete. So for that we need ID. Here goes integer, ID is integer. Here goes name, varchar, and email, varchar, user or username, varchar, and PSS WRD password, varchar. And right click over that ID and set is a primary, and from the column properties scroll down, and there you can see one property, that is identity specification. Expand that and set it to true so that it will automatically increment and automatically added by our database. Ctrl+S. Here goes ASPCRUD. Simply save that. Now go back to Visual Studio and go to view and then click that server explorer where you can see, and right click over data connection, add connection, and refresh that. Select your server and click that trust server certificate and select your database ASP CRUD and OK, and go to properties and simply copy that connection string. We need that one, and here go to design and double click that create button. We are going to insert some value here. First of all, scroll down, scroll up, let's close it, and here using system.data.sql client, we need a couple of classes, so that's why. And here SQL connection con is equal to new SQL connection, and here goes that recently copied connection string. Simply paste that, and it may cause some error later, so simply remove that space also. And here I need to open our connection, and we need a query string, so a string create query is equal to insert insert into our database table, that is ASP CRUD CRUD, and we need to specify column because we are not going to insert into all columns. If you are going to insert into all columns, you don't have to specify the column, but here we are not going to insert into ID field, that is automatically incremented by database. So here we have to provide columns, that is first one is name, email, username, and then password, and then values values. Let me zoom out a little bit. Values. Here we are going to use parameter substitution because of the obvious reason, that is the danger of SQL injection from other people. So here goes 8 name, 8 email, 8 user, 8 pass. SQL COM command cmd is equal to new SQL command, and here goes our create query and then our connection string. Let me zoom a little bit, and here cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and here we are going to substitute our value. Here goes name, and name goes txt name dot text, and simply copy this and then here goes email, and here goes user, here goes pass. And this, by the way, this should be exactly same as here we have given. Here goes txt email, here goes txt user, here goes txt pass, and we need to execute this. So and save that into some integer variable. Count is equal to cmd dot execute non-query, and if count is greater than 0, that means if this query affected our database table row, what we are going to do is we are going to display some message to the user, respon response dot write, and here I am going to use one script type is equal to text slash JavaScript. I am going to display one alert box here, and alert, I have to close this here, and here goes created SUCCESSFELLS successfully, and SCRIPT, close that, and that's all. Now let's save it and try to add some value to the database. We don't have to provide ID here. Click that create, message should display created successfully. Now let's check out database, expand that table, and right click over that table and select top 1000 rows. There you go, one value is inserted. Now close our application, and we have to read data from the database. So go back here. What we are going to do is let me run it again. Here, when the user click that read button, what we are going to do is we are going to hide all these text box, and here we are going to display one table displaying the database content. So for that, simply close this, go back to design, and here let me zoom out a little bit, and here inside this form and go to toolbox. Here we are going to use one grid view, and go to data section, and there you can see a grid view. So simply double click that. Now go to design section and simply double click that read, so that it will create a listening event for us. Now when you run this, initially the grid view will going to display here. So for that, what you can do is here initially, here in the form load, grid view 1 dot visible is equal to false, so that when the form is initially load, the grid view will be hidden by default. And here what we are going to do is we need to hide those text box. So here I'm going to define one function, private void hide controls, and it takes argument control, and here I'm going to use for each loop, for each control CUNTRL control CTRL in control dot CUN controls. For each control, in the control we are going to pass dot controls. Here what we are going to do is, if the control is text box, if the CTRL is text box, we are going to hide this control CTRL dot visible is equal to false, and else if CTRL is grid view, we are going to display this CTRL dot visible is equal to true. We need to display the control view, grid view, and else if the control has any controls, we are going to call this method hide controls, and here goes ctrl. And this is a method, so this need to be else. What we are going to do is we are going to ctrl dot visible is equal to true. If there are other controls, we are going to display those. Now we need to call this inside this button. So here hide control and pass this, and here again we need SQL connection. Con is equal to new SQL connection, and here goes our connection string, or simply copy from here and semicolon, and we need a connection to open, and we need a query string read query is equal to select. Generally standard SQL keywords are written in uppercase. Select all from ASP. What is our table name? Our table name is ASP CRUD. ASP CRUD, and we need a SQL command. CMD is equal to new SQL command. Here goes, let me zoom little bit. Here goes a read query and then connection, and we need a SQL data reader. SQL data reader reader is equal to command dot execute reader, and grid view 1 dot data source is equal to reader reader, and we need to bind our grid view 1 dot data bind. Let's save that and go back to design, and here what we can do is we can give the class to this. Here CSS class is equal to table table dash dark. These all are Bootstrap class, guys. Simply run it and click that read. There you go. It is displaying our database table. And go to home. It is displaying this and read. There you go. Now we need to update and delete. So close that and go to design and click that update button. Double click that, it will create the listening event. Now here the process is same, so simply copy that connection string, and here we need a query. Update query is equal to update update update, and our table name, that is ASP CRUD, and then set, and then our value. Here goes name is equal to @name, email is equal to @email, and then what else? Username is equal to @user, pass word is equal to @pass, and we need a condition here where id is equal to @id, and SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command. Here goes update query and then connection, and cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and here goes add name. Here goes txt name dot text, and the process is same. So repeat that, copy, and here goes email, here goes user, here goes pass, here goes ID, and here goes txt email, here goes txt user, here goes txt pass, here goes txt id, and int count is equal to cmd dot execute non-query, and if this query affected our database table or rows, what we are going to do is count is greater than 0, we are going to display the message. So we already did that, so simply copy that. By the way, you can also write the else part. Here I am not going to write. And here goes updated updated successfully. Simply save that, run it, and let's add another value. Simply click that created successfully. Let's read how many data we have. We have 2 data. Now we are going to update that 2. So here ID is 2, value is random, random name at gmail.com, random 1 2 3. Simply click that update, updated successfully. Now let's check. Now let's read. There you go. Random name, random previously. This is David. So go back to home. Now we need to write for delete. So go back and go back to design, and let's refresh it and double click that delete, and the process is same. Simply copy this and paste, and here string delete query is equal to delete from our table name, that is ASP CRUD, and where id is equal to id. SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command. Here goes delete query and connection, and cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and here goes add id and txt id, and int count is equal to cmd dot execute non-query, and if count is greater than 0, that means if this query affected our table column, so what you can do is you can simply display this message again. So simply copy that and paste here, and here deleted successfully. Save that and run it. Now let's read how many data we have. We have 2 data. Go back to home. I want to delete id 2 and click that delete. So we got error here. I need to write here txt. Simply close that. Here goes txt id dot text. Save that and run again. Here we have 2 data. Go back to home. I want to delete that id 2. Click that delete. Deleted successfully. Now let's read. There is only 1 data. So that's all. This is a pretty long tutorials and pretty useful tutorials as well. In this way, you can create a CRUD application in ASP.NET using Visual Studio, Bootstrap, and SQL Server database. If you like this video, share this video with your friends so that they can create a CRUD application in ASP.NET as well, and give thumbs up, which really motivates us to create such programming video, which takes a lot of times. And stay connected with us. For that, you have to subscribe that button and subscribe that button, because we have target of reaching 100k subscriber this year. So help us with that also. And once again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next tutorials.